Dr. Batson.
Good morning, Dion. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Well, I am blessed and highly flavored. How are you doing?
I am good. I am good. One of those days, one of those weeks, a busy week. So,
I understand that.
yeah. If it wasn't, thank you for Shaki. Shaki was my alarm this morning.
Oh, shucks. Oh, shucks.
Yeah.
We're glad that you're here. They've been waiting for you, man.
Definitely.
So I'm sure so many persons are happy that you're here this morning. And so Dr. Batson is here with us live on Sky 99.5 FM. So I turn the mic right over to you, Dr. Batson.
Definitely. Thank you so very much. So again, a pleasant good morning to the listeners of Sky 99.5. Always a pleasure to be in your company. We're going to have a very interesting discussion this morning. We're going to be speaking about cognitive decline. So we're going to be speaking about things like Parkinson, Alzheimer's, poor circulation in the cerebral hemisphere, so anything to do with things like stroke and that type of thing. And of course, we're going to speak about how could one really avoid those things happening to them. What can you make, or what can you do rather, different in your diet that would reduce the likelihood of you getting Alzheimer's or Parkinson or vascular dementia? Because Alzheimer's is something I think a lot of persons don't ever, want to get. Long ago it was called salinity. People say going senile. We're going to discuss, how is it that other regions or people in other parts of the world tend to have least or less amount of rather cognitive decline in their population as opposed to persons in the Western world. So those of us in the Caribbean, North America, as opposed to people in China, Malaysia, Japan, India. What is it that they do differently? Is it a dietary consideration? Is it a location situation, geographic situation? So those are some of the things we're going to discuss today. Of course, the forum is open, so we're going to be taking calls on different and questions rather via the radio station, also our WhatsApp. Keep in mind, we're live on our social media platforms. On Facebook, we are live. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. Good. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Miss Candy Shahid. Miss Anne-Marie Barb is in the house. Miss Annie Grant. Miss Overlet McFarlane. Miss Rosalind Noel is also here. Miss Bernadette Edmond is also in as well. So these are some of the persons already live on our Facebook, and of course we know later on the rest, some of you will join. Those of you, of course, who are out to church, hope you're having a wonderful spiritual experience this morning. I think that's the best way for me to say it. Be safe, and of course, say a prayer for the nation, because we have all sorts of things to deal with in this place. The missing children thing, I can't get accustomed to. I can't get accustomed to that at all. I don't understand why these children just, disappearing. Parents, you need to try and, be a little more. I mean, when it comes to a parent, how could you be more diligent with your children? Just be careful out here, because, we live in a world where everybody not as loving and as, as they're supposed to, So be careful, guys. So with that being said, we're speaking about cognitive decline. So when we speak about cognitive decline, when we're speaking about things like Alzheimer's, Parkinson, issues associated with salinity, as they call it, one of the things we understand as it relates to the body is that it plays a significant role in a number of things, right? So when we're speaking about cognitive function, it relates to a number of things as it relates to memory, one's ability to read, one's ability to understand information that is presented to them. And it essentially makes the difference between us and a lot of animals in the animal kingdom. So you find that when we look at stroke victims, for example, their cognitive function is significantly declined as a result of a stroke, especially depending on where the stroke takes place in the brain. What we're also going to discuss is the importance of proper blood circulation. I'm a big advocate of blood circulation. People who know me, proper blood circulation, that is. And people who know me would be aware that, I always tell you the most important system in the body is the gastrointestinal system. By extension, the most important organ is the colon. But after that, the fight is between the cardiovascular and the central nervous system. And I think the central nervous system primarily wins simply because it is so in depth in what it does for the body. I mean, we're talking about your ability to recall names, your ability to recall location, your ability to deal with memories, whether it's short-term, long-term memory, one's ability to decipher speech. So when you're having a conversation with someone, you realize there are a number of, how to put it, it's almost as if you're volleying when you're having a conversation with someone, because there is interpretation involved there. There is some level of being able to clarify things for yourself, process it, and then have a conversation, give the person a response. So you usually find persons who have issues with cognitive decline and those particular types of situations, you find that they are not able to do those things. So you could even reach the point where you actually don't recognize faces. We know that's one of the major issues associated with Alzheimer's. And then you could have the situation where, I remember earlier in this week, I was speaking about tremors. So people with Parkinson, where you actually have a situation where you're shaking. So your nerves are significantly affected. And because the central nervous system is affected so badly, then you have these type of responses. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Miss March Hills, Miss Carol Myers, Miss Ramona Jackman, Miss Grace Warner Headley, Miss Reed, Maureen Pierre Reed, Miss Angela Andrews, Miss Jessica Clark, Mr. Oliver Marin. Pleasant good morning to you guys. They're just lining up in the Facebook here. Miss Ramona Jackman says, good morning, Dr. Batson. God bless. Thank you so very much. Miss Grace Warner Headley. If you know I like that name, you sound like a first lady, man. A pleasant good morning to you, Miss Headley. Miss Maureen Pierre Reed. She says, great morning, Dr. Batson and Associates. Enjoy this beautiful day. Thank you so very much. Same to you. Miss Angela Barrows says, happy Sunday, Dr. Batson. Dr. Jason Batson and family. Miss Jessica Clark, good morning, Doc. Mr. Oliver Marin, good morning. Miss Sherian Marcia Lambert Ball. These double barrel surnames. A pleasant good morning to you, Miss Burnett Reed. Good morning, Dr. Batson. I trust all is well. Greetings from Antigua. Pleasant good morning to Miss Reed in Antigua. Miss Nikki Figaro, good morning. Miss June Lazama, she says, good morning, Dr. Batson. Can a person forget simple things if they have on their glasses, also pressure pain in the back of the head? So let me try to understand this question. Can a person forget simple things? Or an example would be like if they don't have on their glasses. Well, that may not necessarily be cognitive decline. That might just be being accustomed and or being, not necessarily paying attention to detail and being slight absent-minded simply because of what's the word, boy? Familiarity. So you're so accustomed having on your glasses because, persons who wear glasses, because I wear glasses at times intermittently. And one of the things sometimes when you're wearing our glasses for a long period of time, the feeling or the sensation that you would have usually had when the glasses is on your face, because of it being there for so long, that passes. So you become desensitized. It's almost as if you lost feeling, especially to the parts of the face where the glasses is present. So I wouldn't call that cognitive decline. I think that's just, as I said, not really paying attention to detail, a bit of absent-mindedness simply because of the familiarity, rather, of the glasses being on your face, as opposed to, one being, becoming senile or, developing vascular dementia or central nervous system problems, issues, that type of thing. Okay? Miss Anne Harden, she says, good morning, Dr. Batson and Associates. Yeah, so that's something I need to pay very close attention to. So, interestingly, Miss Ramona Jackman is saying, what's the remedy for vertigo or imbalance in your body? And that's actually a very good question, and it ties into what we are discussing today. The thing is, if you vertigo, in my humble opinion, has a lot to do with lack of blood flow, to the brain. Now, one of the things we need to understand and appreciate is this. I'll tell you. When you're talking about circulation, we know how important circulation is to the body. You know, right? Okay, let me remind you. Circulation is so important. It is as if it is, okay, so imagine you have a garden of sorts and you have various, whether it's hydroponics or you have various irrigation systems set up to wet your crops. Let's say there's a particular area of the garden that for some reason the plumbing is not working properly and it is not getting water. What eventually happens to those crops? They die, right? That is one of the simplest analogies I could use in describing what happens to the cells in the body when you have problems with circulation. Essentially, the cells begin to die. Just like that garden that is not being irrigated properly, the plant's not getting sufficient water, your lettuce, your cucumber, whatever the case may be, it will die. The cells of the body are going to die. Because remember, the cells going to die first, right? Cells give you tissues, tissues give you organs, organs give you organ systems, and organ systems give you the body. So a heart cell is going to give you tissue of the heart. Tissue give you organs. So the heart tissue in turn comprises the heart. Tissue gives you, so cells give you tissue, tissues give you organs, so that's the heart. Organs give you organ systems. So the cardiovascular system, the heart comprises part of the cardiovascular system, but it's an entire system. You have blood vessels, you have arteries, capillaries, veins, whatever the case may be. An organ system, so that's the cardiovascular system, and organ systems give you the body. So you have various organ systems. We have 11 in all that comprise the entire body. The only difference between men and women is the reproductive system. So male reproductive system, of course, would be different in some aspects to the female reproductive system, but all the other organ systems, cardiovascular, musculoskeletal, central nervous system, endocrine system, all those we have in common, okay? So as regards to that particular analogy, you now understand why circulation is so important. And think about it as an example, for example, with diabetics. If you're a diabetic, one of the situations that you're going to experience is you find there are diabetics who lose their toes. They lose limbs. They would lose like sometimes their instep, depending on the degree of the damage. So depending on the situation or the degree of lack of blood. Because just as the analogy with the water and the irrigation with the garden, if they're not getting irrigated, they're going to die. The cells in the toes begin to die. And then it is very easy to develop something known as gangrene, right? Gangrene is basically an infection, a pathogen infection. Gangrene would be what? A fungus in my, if my recollection is correct. I believe it would be, but either way, it is a pathogen. And it contributes significantly to deterioration of muscles and tissue and that type of thing. But you can only get gangrene once that circulation is significantly compromised, especially in that part of the body. One of the things that medical doctors are always very concerned with, especially surgical practitioners, is they always are concerned about infection that gets to the bone. So it is usually the perception of most medical practitioners that if an infection reaches the bone, then you cannot save the bone. I am in complete disagreement with that, because I've actually had instances with persons who came to us where they had infections that would have reached the bone and they were told to amputate, and those persons are still alive. That is not the case. There are a number of protocols that we could put together to actually save someone's feet or foot from being amputated. Seriously. But I want you to understand the reason why the cell death is taking place, because the circulation is not reaching the toes. So it's as if it is your toes not getting, it's like you have tomato plant down there and it's not getting water. Eventually it will die. And that is one of the simplest ways I could explain why people end up losing limbs. And that is why diabetes is such a, the two things that I have the utmost respect for rather is hypertension and diabetes. In all the grand I don't even afraid cancer that much, in all honesty, or avoidance of cancer in the sense that what you can do from now, to prevent a cancer diagnosis. There are so many things that you could do. The thing is, hypertension is a little tricky because hypertension can seriously be linked to emotion. So, there are some persons, of course, when they get upset, I am one of those persons, which is why I try not to get too upset or too angry, because I don't think my blood pressure goes out of control, but it would become more elevated than it is usually. And that could, of course, become problematic. So, I have the utmost respect for high blood pressure and diabetes. I think that two of the stealers of life in a lot of persons, simply because of what it does to the system in its entirety, and within a very short space of time. Hypertension, if not properly dealt with, and when I say not properly dealt with, getting in terms of dealing with the natural aspect of things like blood pressure, and because the thing is, think about it. If your blood pressure becomes so elevated, and especially in the night, because your blood pressure can elevate during the night while you're sleeping, right? There's something known as pulmonary hypertension. We know in anatomy and physiology, as it relates to circulation, you have primarily two types of circulation, which is circulation above your heart, which is referred to as pulmonary circulation, and you have circulation below your heart, which is known as systemic circulation. Now, pulmonary hypertension is hypertension in the aspect of the pulmonary circulation, which is circulation above your heart. So that's up on top of here. So we're talking primarily the brain. So it means if that pulmonary hypertension becomes so severe, you can end up with a brain aneurysm. You can end up with a stroke, whether it's an ischemic stroke or a hemorrhagic stroke. We know hemorrhagic strokes are bleeding strokes. They're the most dangerous type of strokes to get. I mean, strokes on the whole are terrible. And let me go to a little buffing session here. Nothing annoys me more when you deal with people who take things for granted as regards to their health. I'm seriously annoyed with persons sometimes when they say, I had a small stroke, and you calm there as if it is somebody telling you just graduate from university or you win a prize or something. Listen to me. You dying. I mean, yes, all of us had to die somewhere. He was saying, but Dr. Batson, everybody had to die. Okay, good, we know that. But you dying faster. You hear what it is I'm telling you? So don't talk foolishness and tell me that you get a mini stroke and you're looking at this and you're looking at that and you're eating the same foolishness. You're drinking soft drink, you're drinking coffee, you're eating like an animal, everything in sight, fat, butter, cheese, everybody. And telling, I suffered. The doctor said it's a minor, it's only a small stroke. In your very fancy, highfalutin, non-thinking voice. You are talking nonsense of the highest order. That's like somebody saying, listen to me, the bandits in your yard, and you sitting down and saying, well, we have very good burglar proof in the house, and I don't have any reason to go. You're being foolish. You need to prepare yourself, get yourself in order. Because if you don't do that, you know what's going to happen to you? You're going to get a next stroke. And the next stroke you get may not be as small as the first one that you got. So that is utter absurdity, and it's not even absurdity, it borders on stupidity, quite frankly. Plain talk, bad manners. I tell you, some always want some before your own health, because you always be seeing the writing on the wall, according to the saying. It is there. You have high blood pressure, your blood pressure 180 something over 1 something, and poor you there, dotish, swallowing tablets. Now, I'm not saying you're dotish because you're swallowing the tablet. I'm not saying that. You'll understand where the dotishness coming just now. The reason why you're being dotish is because you're not dealing with the issue from the cause, from its root aspect. You can't playing with hypertension. Why you think we have so many persons on dialysis? This place becoming, I don't know, I tell them, listen, anybody open my dialysis center now, they're customers, It come like fried chicken. If you open a dialysis center, no, you don't have enough space because of the amount of persons we have in this country that now suffer from renal failure and kidney damage. Because you're a hypertensive person, and poor you, this is to understand, here's where the dotishness comes in. So you have high blood pressure, and poor you, here why you're dotish. You're not paying attention to yourself. You're overweight. So you're carrying a bigger weight, you're getting big and fat, and you're not understanding that your weight significantly contributes to the high blood pressure that you are experiencing or that is now affecting you. So that's where the dotishness comes in, because we're supposed to do, not make an attempt to change your diet and lose some weight. So you understand where the dotishness and stupidity comes in, right? And then you know the weight is contributing to the pressure, but you're going back to the doctor, and the doctor say, you know, this pressure ain't going down, but I already give you nifedipine. You're already using a Lasix. You might be using aspirin, but the pressure not going down, but you not losing weight. So you're going by the doctor again, and he or she, in their grand aspect of wisdom, decides, well, okay, we're giving you 2 of the tablet and it's not working, the pressure's still high, but you still big and fat, and you're not losing weight, and you're still eating stupidness. So what happens? The pressure keep going out. So what you're going to do? Go and take a next tablet. So you understand where the dotishness and the stupidity fall in and come in. You're doing nonsense, because you understand fully that if you make some changes to your lifestyle, this pressure is going to start to read better. And you know that? You don't know that? You know that? Don't play like you don't know. That is where the stupidity and the dotishness comes in. And I make no apology for putting it like that. If you don't like it, there's an off button on your radio. Press it. Go and sleep. Go and cook or something. Because sometimes people just need to hear the hard facts. Because you know why? I don't know if you ever saw anybody with a stroke, or if you ever had a family member who experienced a stroke. Listen to me. I tell them, if you had to pick, better you go and pick a heart attack. You know, if we had to pick, if you had a board, and they say, you know, you go, like you remember when you was in school, and they call you up on the blackboard to do work. So they have a board, and Almighty say, yeah, what? Pick your poison. Heart attack, number 1. Stroke, number 2. Alzheimer's, number 3. And you have to pick disease. You will try your best to choose the one that you think will give you the less amount of damage. Not so? So essentially, that's what you're doing. You know? When you eat foolishness, when you ignore warning signs, you have headache telling me. I remember speaking to someone at some point in time, and this lady is going to look at me. She's going to look at, I'll never forget this as long as I live, because I was so annoyed with the individual. I was like, woman, if you wasn't old enough to be my mother, the buff I would have put on you inside of here. I mean, she got buff, but it was still a respect for buff. Because you know me, I do business. Yeah, it's either you like me or don't like me. It's either you're listening or you're listening. And you don't like me, whatever. You're not listening, well, worse yet. Go your merry way, go by some next doctor and try and stress them out. Not Batson. So I was speaking to the person, and here the thing, and they came to us and they did the analysis. And in her mind, she is saying that what we saw, in other words, she found that I was being too severe with her as regards to the result of her test that she would have brought for me. And keep in mind, she didn't only do blood analysis at Batson and Associates, live and dry blood, where if I do a blood analysis, so any one of our excellent consultants who work now and responsible for doing the blood at Batson, a pleasant good morning, at Batson and Associates, rather, a pleasant good morning to Mr. Rene Bustamante, Ms. Karishma Ramdan, and Mr. Paul Green. Good. So there is a particular aspect of our scan, and when we did the blood, this one, if you saw this blood is literally the blood cells stacking on top of one another. Watch me, is a set of loving inside of all them blood cells stick up together, which should not happen, because we know the reason why Almighty God gave us red blood cells that are not. Are you aware that red blood cells are not flat? Right? Basic biology. Red blood cells are what? Concave. What does that mean? It means instead of it being flat like this, it actually makes like a belly. And you know the reason for that? It is called in science surface area to volume ratio. Go and do some research on that. Surface area to volume ratio. The same applies to digestion of food. The reason why Almighty God gave you teeth in your mouth, some of you all don't have, you know, you have to go and buy them. They call plates. You store them in places other than your body, you know, in a glass, in a Pond's bottle. I remember a family member of mine, I was frightened as a child. You know, when you're fast, you're going and look for things that don't concern you. I'm just showing a little bit here. And I went, and this particular family member was an aunt of mine, a great aunt. You know, I saw a Pond's bottle. So I think it is Pond's, you know, little children, you like to dig up anything. And when I opened the Pond's bottle, I saw teeth. And I was young. I think I maybe was like about 5 years or something. But I literally saw teeth. I was like, good grief. What? So it's only to realize that this particular aunt, when I saw her in the morning and I said good morning and she smiled, I realized I was only seeing gums. So then I figured out as a child a long, long time ago that I thought adults wear costumes, but I didn't realize that, I was like, oh my God. So I told my sister, I say, hey, auntie so-and-so, she just take out her teeth. Of course, my sister being 4 years older than me was dying, but literally, so the point is, that's why you have teeth. So even if you have a plate, when you have plates, that's why you're supposed to take care of your teeth. Shout out to all the good dentists in Trinidad and Tobago. Take care of your teeth. That's a serious thing. Right? So you're able to chew food, surface area to volume ratio. So the particles are much smaller, so they're able to be digested properly. So that's essentially the reason for surface area to volume ratio. So back to what I was speaking about. It means now that these blood cells sticking together, so this particular woman does not have proper circulation. So in my discussion with her, I'm saying, ma'am, you need to pay attention to yourself, because she is trying to downplay her situation and told me she went by a neurologist, and the neurologist told her that she doesn't have anything to worry about, because I was like, what nonsense is this woman talking in my ears this hour of the morning? Anyway, she continued talking, and I continued saying, look at this, you need to be careful. The possibility exists you could get a stroke. So after I tell Mary this, after call, she's Mary. All women who give problems, yes, Mary. So if you're a Mary sometime, you don't be a Mary all the time. But Mary is looking at me and telling me nothing is wrong with her. This wicked woman, after I done talk to her and that's do my summary and tell her, you know what she told me? She said, Dr. Batson, this maybe doesn't help my point here, but 5 years ago I had a stroke. Now tell me, what I should I do with Mary? She's not even Mary alone, she's Mary squared. So you ever hear foolishness? So she's admitting that 5 years ago she had a stroke. And I am telling her, in my humble opinion, doing this protocol and this analysis for this lady, and I'm saying, ma'am, you have really terrible blood circulation. You could get a stroke. You could die. You could end up with a brain aneurysm. And this one is telling me I am making too much fuss. Nothing is going to happen to her. She's a child of God and she's blessed. That's when he has mixed faithfulness with foolishness. To some of them, you think he's a pastor and you think you're so close to God that he would eat all the nonsense in the world, and then it's because you got a heart attack on a pulpit. Do not play stupid, even as a pastor, and there's no disrespect to any of the pastors in the country, but all you need to pay attention to all yourself. All is a next set, all it is figure, all you're holy and great. Yes, that may be true, and you may have an excellent relationship with God. However, do not mix faithfulness with foolishness. You cannot be eating nonsense. There are rules to the human body. You eat enough butter and cheese, you're going to end up with cardiovascular disease. You drink enough alcohol, you're going to end up with cirrhosis of the liver. You drink enough alcohol, you're going to end up with a lot of other things, including cancer. You smoke enough cigarette, you will get lung cancer. You eat enough foolishness, you will end up with stress problems. You're living in a house with people you don't like your sister, you don't like your brother, you haven't forgiven your mother, you didn't forgive your husband, you don't like your children. Listen to me. You're gearing up yourself for some nice cancer. And that's the reality of the body. There are rules, and you have to understand, just like the rule of gravity, as I always tell people this. Yes, we have planes defy the law of gravity, air balloons defy the law of gravity, but there are certain scientific aspects associated to that. Aviation, you can't fly a plane without an engine. If a plane has no fuel or anything doesn't have fuel in it, could it go anywhere? No. But you, with your good human self, will decide to go on a building and jump off and say defying the law of gravity just with your human body? Try it and see what happens to you. You plummet to the ground because that is a law. Physics tell you all bodies falling towards the earth fall with a constant acceleration known as acceleration due to gravity. That's one of the first things we learn in physics class in Form 3. So those things, there are laws, there are rules. So the point I'm making is that you cannot have a blood pressure that is supposed to be about 120. We forgive you a little bit when you reach all 60, 70 something. So if you give me a 130, a 135, I wouldn't fault you for that. Do not believe the foolish notion that you will be 60s and 70s and get a blood pressure 120 over 80. That is madness. That ain't happening to the most person, the average person. Unless you are serious, you was an athlete before, you're very fit, you take care of yourself, your diet is very good, you exercise and that kind of thing. But generally, if you're about 60 years and you're getting a pressure 135 over 85, I wouldn't kill you for that. That is standard. That is to be expected. You're not a spring chicken again. However, when you're seeing 160, 165, 180, and the diastolic, which is your lower number, starting to climb up and reach 100 and 105 and think, no, you're dying. Mind your business. Mind your business. Your kidney down there balling. You ain't hearing him, you know. He or she, whichever you want to feel. If you feel a kidney is a boy or a girl, whatever the case. You're not hearing it. And your kidney down there fighting, balling under pressure. And then it's just a matter of time before you go to a doctor. And they say, well, here, what? Go and do a blood test. When you do the blood test now, they say, hey, you know what's going on? We see in your creatinine clearance is not as it's supposed to. You know what creatinine is? Creatinine is a waste product of the kidneys. And there is a certain amount. That's how there is no when your kidney going bad, you know. They look at creatinine, they look at bond, they look at potassium. There are certain substances that the kidney is supposed to excrete with a certain level of efficiency and effectiveness rather. And if it is not doing that, it is an indication that you are getting renal failure. Let me tell you something. And this is not to make anybody who on dialysis. If you're on dialysis and you're listening to this program, excuse me, we could make your life a little easier in the sense that we can help you ward off other problems. So we could help you with your heart. If you stop urinating, depending on how long you stop urinating, we could help you to start back to urinate. A lot of my clients, or our clients that we would have gotten at Batson and Associates, came to us not urinating on dialysis, and they started back urinating when we started working with them, you know, 3-4 months after. It depends on the individual. So the point I'm making is that you have to understand the severity and the seriousness of the situation. A pleasant good morning to Kati Ramu. Blessings to you, Dr. Batson. Annette Robinson saying, oh God, Dr. Batson, you're giving licks here. You're getting licks this morning. Because there's beyond stupidness, man. Don't do yourself that. So mind your business this morning. If it is you have hypertension, make some, you don't want to write it down now, make a goal for yourself that you're going to start exercising. First thing, the only people who getting away from exercise here is the crippled people. And God forbid, if it is you're immobile, you're confined to a wheelchair, you have exercise you could do. So nobody ain't getting away. Because I'm telling you, you're going to end up in some problems. Look at your water intake. We have spoken about hydration on 1,000 occasions. So let me see, fed up your backs and talk about water. You have to drink water. We know already the water is what? Room temperature water. All in this cold water nonsense. Stop the foolishness, please, and drink your room temperature water. All the men who listening to this and saying, Dr. Batson is a man, I working in the sun, and I drink. Continue. You know the old people have a saying? My great-grandmother, Octavia Batson, one of the things she used to say, smart woman, nice lady, yeah? She no longer wrong, of course. One of the things she used to say, you know, what sweeten goat mouth does be sour. You know the rest, right? So, so the next thing you need to look at is your diet. So this is going out to all the meat mouths. Yeah, and the men who would say, well, I work in the sun and the sun hot, so I can't drink room temperature water. No problem, you continue drinking your cold water. But when water more than flour, as the old people say, go and blow your nose where you get cold. Right? Because that is the foolishness and the dotishness and the illiteracy. Because you're bordering on illiteracy with them nonsense. Or in some cases, maybe arrogance. Because illiteracy is when you just don't know. But here, you're being given an explanation. So, ladies and gentlemen, all of that was to say, please do not play with high blood pressure. High blood pressure is not your friend. It will never be a friend. It is out to destroy you. You will die. Yes, all of us have to die, but the death wouldn't be a nice death. Watch me, anybody who will get a stroke ever tell you what it is to experience a stroke? You must ask them. Ask them. You must ask people who just go and do dialysis 3 times a week, how it just feel, and hear what it tell you. And this is not me being facetious or inhumane or anything like that, but I want you to understand the situation. What sweeten goat mouth does be sour. And you know the rest. Pay attention to yourself. So exercise we talk about. We talk about water. At Batson and Associates, we carry an excellent brand of Alkagen water. If depending on how your pocket reading, because Batson give your money, and I ain't trying to rob nobody either, you have to know your business. I don't live in your house, me not with you. So you know your budget. If you can't buy Alkagen water, good, no problem. you're getting, hopefully, where you're living, you're getting the government water in your pipe. Get a filter. A filter is not $1 million. Boil the people water and filter it. You have no excuse. You need to hydrate your body. The rule is your body weight divided by 2 in ounces. That is how much water you're supposed to drink. So some of you who know you're not a regular size marble, you're not them regular marble. You know, you used to play marble long time, 3-hole for bokeh, rings. Some of you is bigums. So if you know you're a bigums and you're carrying over 250 or 300, you know, we know you might be working on the situation and not trying to be again facetious or body shame anybody, but you know you're a bigums. So, you know, admit, hey, yeah, what, I is a big marble and I need to work on my situation. So you need to watch your little fat. You need to start to do a little exercise. And then if you're a big wounds, it means that you have to drink more water, because if you're 300 pounds, half of 300 is what? 150. You're talking about 6 liters of water for the day, you know. You're a big marble. You can't drink water like you're a small marble. So you're drinking big wounds portion. Drink more water. You call it join all yourself on this program. I only see half going up. Right? So that's that. The next thing, your diet when you have high blood pressure. So what it is you're supposed to eat and what you're not supposed to eat. Huh? Tell me. No coffee. Pleasant good morning to Suzanne, my darling. How are you? I know it might be hard for some of you. Some of them love a coffee. You know, if you don't get coffee and energy. I'm not even going into the benefits of coffee, because there are benefits to drinking coffee. However, the negatives outweigh the positives, especially as regard to the discussion we have in here. You cannot have no high blood pressure and be drinking the people coffee. Leave it alone. Next thing on the diet that you're not supposed to be eating if you have hypertension. What again? All you know it, you know. Too much of meat. Listen to me. Have some people, you could get them a whole plate of meat. They will eat the meat. You could that don't have to have vegetable. It don't have to have carbohydrates. No provision, no rice. Just get them meat. You know yourself. You know yourself. Somebody is saying, what will cause a thin person to have high blood pressure? Yeah, no, keep in mind, I'm not saying only obese people have hypertension. No, we are talking about a situation where someone who is overweight, but very slim people could have hypertension. All right? So we were talking about what? The coffee, then sorry, I lose my train of thought there with that. But in any case, so, you know, the fried food, right? The meats I was talking about. Meat. It has some people. Too much meat. Meat encourages nitrogenous waste in the body. That is going to cause a lot of problems with your blood pressure. Check yourself. Most people who are hypertensive are meat. They love a meat. Now, I'm not saying that you have vegetarians who could be hypertensive too. No, don't put words in my mouth. I'm just telling you, in general, a lot of hypertensive people is meat people. They love a meat, especially the one that is go oink oink. Plenty red meat, beef, pork. Right? Change up that. Include some fish in your diet. Get some omega-3, 6, 9 in the body. One of the next things you need to do, supplementation. So this is for the people who say, I don't need to take any supplements. I don't like tablets. I will get what I want from food. Really? That's if you was living in Eden. If when God said, let there be light and creation and Garden of Eden, if you was living there with Adam and Eve and them, well, good, that would have worked. But not in this world we living in. You ain't going and experience that. Not with the food that we have. And that is even if you're eating very good with your quinoa and your fish and your this and your that. And like myself, I try my best to eat. I mean, I eat 90% good, 10% I will eat a little foolishness, depending on where I am. If I go out with my family, whatever the case may be. And still, they know they ain't getting no nonsense to eat. It's just a matter of some balance there. So your supplementation, one of the things we carry at Batson Associates, imagine I went so far to get a tea for high blood pressure, and a tea that works. We have hypertension tea, we have circulation tea, we have balanced circulation, which we're going to be getting back in a large amount in stock. We have circulation plus that is going to be coming back at the end of the month. That's the liquid product that deals with circulation and blood flow and clean your arteries and that type of thing. When we had that product, we had some very good responses with persons, especially with hypertension. We're bringing out a new hypertension circulation tea. That's supposed to be coming out, God's willing, at the end of the month again too. I have not forgotten your wonderful people with Santulan Slim, but you know we live in Trinidad, the land of slowness, where a lot of things just slower than it's supposed to. So we're just waiting on some paperwork, and then we will have that sorted out for you guys. So that's that. Optimizer. Optimizer is one of my best products as it relates to circulation, especially in the cerebral hemisphere. We use it a lot for persons with their eyes. So you get it listening. If you know you're hydrated, you want to lose some weight, Santulan. Santulan is what? Santulan is a 7-channel detox. Santulan cleans and detoxifies kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. So that's the supplements they could add to the situation. But the diet is fundamental. More provision than rice. More vegetables. Include things like garlic. You could actually make a drink. You have high blood pressure, you get a grain of garlic or 2 grains of garlic. 1 Granny Smith apple, which is the green apple, 2 stalks of celery, and some sweet pepper, and blend that there. That helping you with your blood pressure. You see, the thing is, a lot of us, and one of the things we need to move away from is our inability to be proactive. As Caribbean people on the whole, intuitively, even Trinidadians, like intuition, are very responsive person. You know, in this country on the whole, that's how they are. From politicians go right back. You fall long in a manhole, somebody had to fall long in a manhole and break the neck, and then they will fix the manhole. When all the time people was complaining, the manhole open. Have a hole in the road, people complaining about the hole, you have a bad accident, like by the bus through there. You see how much people have to get an accident for them to decide to put some speed bump or whatever it is they put on the bus through there. We're reactive. We wait until things happen, and that's bad. With your health, you cannot do that. Right? Someone is asking, Ms. Ramona Jackman is saying, so optimizer will be good for imbalances. Yes, it actually would be. The optimizer is very good. The cerebral is also very good. For someone who has real bad, and this is one of the things I'll talk about with you guys. Let me tell you something. You see omegas. Now, I carry our omega, which is a krill omega that we carry at Batson Associates. We actually have in stock. We got back last week. We carry an advanced omega. I am a huge, huge advocate of omegas. Have plenty flaxseed in your diet. So again, free information here. Plenty chia seeds, your fish oils. It is very, very important. Just recently, I was reading an article where they said that 50% increase in your omegas in your diet gives you a 60% less likelihood of developing Alzheimer's. Just this week I read that. Just this week. Someone is asking me about depression. This is Ms. Annette Robinson. A pleasant good morning to you. She said, Dr. Batson, can you discuss the connection between depression and your body's lacking required nutrients? I could answer that question now. A number. Cognitive decline and depression, things like depression, anxiety. That's why I love Nerve Restore so much. Nerve Restore, again, is an excellent product that we carry at Batson & Associates. And Nerve Restore was primarily designed because I had bought some products from another supplier, and I bought a lot, and I recommended it to a lot of my patients, clients rather. And when I asked for feedback, because that's something that we do a lot of, let me say a pleasant good morning to the hardworking staff of Batson & Associates. In fact, I don't call them staff, my colleagues, because we are all colleagues. One team, one big team working for the results and the improvement of our clientele. Yeah, and as regards to the feedback that I got from the product was disappointing. Now, this wasn't that particular product. So that is why I decided to come up with Nerve Restore, and we did some things. We got the formulation, and then Nerve Restore came out. And I was so satisfied with the product. I used mine up to last night I used, because listen to me, the sleep that you get, the ability to rejuvenate the body is amazing with Nerve Restore because of what it does for your sleep. It improves your quality of sleep. It improves your cognitive function, which is what we're discussing. It improves your body's ability to deal with stress. So if you're stressed out, your job is a stressful job. You're dealing with mad people. And you're a Trinidadian, so you're dealing with mad people every day. We have more mad people outside than inside. Then people in St. Anne say, "One not some of them people walking in Port of Spain and Arima and South, mad people in the road." So you need to have something to deal with stress, and then you just be working with mad people. So in our office, God forbid, especially if it's government, and if you work in the government sector, you're dealing with. If you are a worker, because not everybody working in the government service lazy. So you might be working with some people who just don't do anything. And you're under stress. Get your nerve restored. An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. So with that being said, let me call some telephone numbers. And we have some questions. I'm going to go back over to Dion. So the telephone numbers, you can give us a call. Keep in mind, this month is actually Father's June, right? And we actually have some specials for dads. I want to seek clarification from Shakil in a little bit when he comes back into the room as regards to what that is. I know we'll be posting up some stuff on our social media platform as regards to that. So that's something to look out to. Or we'll be doing a promotion where it is you have to like, share, leave a comment, tag us in the comment you leave, right? And that would give you the opportunity to win some great prizes for the month of June. We had Mother's May, and with that, we had some excellent winners. I actually finally got to meet Honey Bay. Dion?
You met Honey Bay?
Yeah, boy, I have met the Honey Bay. And let me say, Honey Bay saying something, you know. Yeah, Honey Bay, like she listened to the program a long time. She drinking Honey Bay, looking like people.
Nice.
So it was quite a pleasure. And let me say a congratulations to the other winners. I'll get the list just now. We had some. And the good thing about that promotion that we had, I was so glad that was regular persons who are always in the program supporting, commenting, sharing. Those were the persons that actually won. You know, so it was really deserving that they got the free test and whatever the case may be. Right, so fathers, I haven't forgotten you all. You know, we can't be left out of the bunch. So, you know, this month is Father's June, we're calling it. So keep in mind, you know, you're listening to the program, you're an avid listener, just make sure and like us, share us, leave a comment, and make sure and tag us in the comment. I get everything correct there, Shakil? Nicely. Okay, so those telephone numbers for Shagonas is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. For Debe's office, that number is 223-7515. Debe is 223-7515. St. James is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And Tobago, which is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago, is 226-4553. Again, that's 226-4553. All right, Cindy Hoyt says, Honey Bay is the original, for real. Yes, the answer. So back to you, sir.
All right, so let's take some calls. 624-7729, 625-2759. You're listening to Dr. Batson of Batson and Associates right here on Sky 99.5 FM. All right, so the number to call is 624-7729, 625-2759. Or you can send us a WhatsApp message or voice note at 333-9950. So let's see who is there. 624-7729, 625-2759. Somebody asks, good morning, Dr. Batson. My question is, someone with diabetes, a sore and heart problems, can they take or should they take the information formula?
Repeat that question one more time for me, please, sir.
This person has diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
They maybe have a diabetic sore and heart problems.
Right.
Would you recommend that they take the inflammation formula?
Definitely, the inflammation formula will help. What I would also suggest is the optimizer. Well, depending on how your budget going, you could always do one by one. The circulation tea would also help, and the blood sugar complex. Because you see, once we get that blood sugar under control, we're actually going to have the ability to now improve the circulation in the body. Right. Because elevated blood sugar makes it very difficult for wounds to heal. One, it interferes with your eyesight, it causes a lot of problems. So one of the first things you're going to need to do in that situation, especially to get the heart in a better place, is to actually work on the circulation.
Beautiful. So let's take this call. Hello, good morning, welcome.
Hello, good morning. Please forgive me. I know for some Zabuga and biscuits in my mouth, so we any kind of therapy. No, but I have to get through.
Because it's a good thing eating there, we'll give you a blind. Go ahead.
Let me talk about chocolate tea. Anyway.
Okay, I know.
Nice, man. Yeah, you're in business there, man. You're singing good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good morning. No salt on the Africa. Anyway, good morning.
Good morning, my dear.
No. I am what? 4 4 years of age. I have to watch my health.
Definitely.
But it's something I've been doing since I was young. Always aerobics, strongly savannah, climbing hill, doing anything for exercise.
Nice. Good.
Yes, Dr. Batson. Good morning, Brother Dion. Dr. Batson, I passed by you Friday, not Friday, only Friday before.
Oh gosh, I St. James.
Yes, and I picked up the nerve restore.
Right.
The cerebral.
Right.
And the oil.
Okay, good.
However, my son started to take it. No, he left to go back to Grenada on Tuesday the 7th, which was Tuesday gone.
Right. So the products wasn't for you, it's for your son.
Yes, but he started today because the guy told me I didn't get it, all his cerebral that I wanted, but he didn't get any when I called him back Monday. But anyway,
right.
My son started to take it before he left.
Right.
And what he was telling me is that, excuse me, I am the person who had asked me if he could start his products with only detox because he didn't have time.
Oh, to do the detox, right. And I think one of the things we are saying is that once he drinks sufficient water, is not a problem.
Yes.
Right.
When I brought home the product, he started it.
Right.
But he was telling me before he left to go Grenada, he was telling me, he said, Mommy, whenever I take the product, I'm feeling kind of a little bit sick.
Right. Sick in what way? Nauseous? What?
This guy is about 6 feet 2, right?
Right.
Big shoulders, very strong and things. But I said, well, I don't know why it caused. And I don't know if you're supposed to detox first, but the guy told me you could have started it.
Right. How he used it? He used it with a meal or without a meal? What was the instruction?
I don't know.
You're not sure? Okay, but clarify something for me. He said he wasn't feeling well in what way? He got dizzy, he felt nauseous, he said what?
Not well, no, it's just that he was feeling a little bit sick. Nothing to have him lying down that can't
right.
He's moving about, he's doing everything as normal.
That's normal.
A little bit sick. So I said, well, he told me, this is the guy who's a medical student, so he was trying to assess his body with the thing. So what he's telling me is that, I don't know if my body probably can adjust it to it.
Right. Well, the thing is,
will continue taking it until if he doesn't see any improvement, he will stop it. But
right.
Let me go and ask you what could be wrong there? I don't know.
All right. Let me answer you. The possibility. Okay. So I'm gonna play some or come up with some possible scenarios. So one, with the product. So you said he got the omega, he got the cerebral, and he got the nerve restore. Correct?
Right.
Good. So nerve restore in the beginning, because all those products I use, so I could tell you personally, I have personal experience with it. The cerebral. Now, I don't know what was the recommendation that was made by the consultant, because there are a few recommend.
He said one. The nerve restore.
Yeah.
He said 1 hour before. 1 hour before you sleep.
Right.
Then he said, cerebral. I think he said take it with a breakfast, lunch, or dinner with a meal.
Right.
And the other one,
which is the omega.
The other one, but he wrote it down for me. But anyway, by the way, before I come up with the phone, listen to you on air.
Right.
If you have any questions to ask me. No, but
right.
Excellent service, eh?
Oh, thank you so very much. Thank you.
Excellent service. And the young man on the right hand side was so pleasant and so so nice. I've had an organization. I take him from you to work with me.
yeah. And it's always good at you. Thanks. We trying and there's more improvement to get.
You have any other questions to ask me?
Okay, so no, I have it covered.
Okay, all right, thanks. So when you talk to me, I will talk to him later and tell him
yes, what to do.
Yeah, okay. Because as I told you, he's not in Trinidad now. So I'll have to get in touch and tell him what to do. Okay, right, bye.
Okay,
God bless you all.
Thank you so very much. You as well. Okay, good. So I'm very glad that this situation has come to light, so it would give me the opportunity to clarify some things. So a lot of the times, the products that we use. So let me give you an example. Nerve Restore, the ingredient profile consists of nutrient-dense foods. So one of the things in Nerve Restore is ashwagandha. Now, the thing is, the ashwagandha, and I guarantee you this, the ashwagandha that is in that product is one of the best ashwagandha they have in the world. I guarantee you that. I made sure, and the people that I deal with, I mean, we got MSD sheets, we got lab information, everything we have. So in any case, it also has some kava and alma inside of there. Alma is Indian gooseberry. So that entire nutrient profile is what we call a whole or a complete nutrient. So you have things like magnesium, selenium, you would have some vitamin C, a number of things in there. So usually a product like that could be taken on an empty stomach. However, because there are a lot of sensitivities to some people with their stomach, because some people can take fish oil, for example, on an empty stomach, like me. I can take fish oil on an empty stomach and I don't have any problem. But with some people, it makes it a bit nauseous. It gives you a little bad feeling. So what I would suggest is the cerebral, they take the cerebral with dinner. So we're going to change it up a little bit. The cerebral formula is to be taken with dinner. If they know they don't usually have dinner, then I suggest they take the cerebral with lunch, right? The nerve restore, instead of taking an hour before going to bed, take the nerve restore with a meal. So take the nerve restore with breakfast. Good? And what you're doing with the omega, you will take one omega with breakfast and one omega with lunch. Once he does that, he shouldn't have a problem. Because I'm sure there's some empty stomach involved there, especially with the nerve restore, where an hour before you go to bed. So in some cases, for some persons like that. Now, when I started using nerve restore, I started using my nerve restore like that, about 2 hours before I go to bed. What I did, I did a little experiment, and I said, let me take this. If I was to take this with a meal, one would be the best meal to take it. And I decided, well, breakfast would be the better meal. Because of how the adaptogen works, it has to get into the system, but it does not affect you or make you sleepy throughout the day. So you could use it with breakfast. So I decided, with everyone coming now, I decided the better thing to do, together with the consultants, we decided we're going to tell persons to take it with breakfast. And that worked the best. It worked the best because it would have eliminated the likelihood of persons experiencing what your son experienced, where I believe is because of the empty stomach situation, the sickness or the slight, what you said he's feeling. Because I could, obviously, because of the situation, I didn't get to question him to the extent that I would have liked to really determine what the ill feeling was. You know, if it was a bit of nausea, if it was a bit of tiredness. In some cases, some people, when you start taking products, you would get a tired feeling. That's because the product is working, because what it is actually doing as an adaptogen is beginning to start to regulate certain things in the body. You know, a wise man once said, when you want change, because you're bringing about a positive change in the body, change. Usually when you want change causes disruption. I found this was so brilliant. And disruption, so he was talking about actually, let me tell you who it was. It was actually T.D. Jakes. So one of the things T.D. Jakes was saying is that when you want change, so he was talking about change in general. I was listening to one of his speeches, and one of the things he was saying is that change brings about disruption, because I was looking at change in organization and that type of thing. And he said, for example, it's like you plant a seed and you tell the seed, don't burst up the ground, because the ground is going to get disrupted because the seed is it has germinated and is beginning to grow, so roots and whatnot. And he was using that analogy to help persons understand that in life, whenever you're going through changes, especially if you're going from one level to the next, whether it's in your career, whether it's spirituality, emotionally, your relationship, whatever the case may be, some sort of disruption is going to take place. But the point he was making, he said, do not allow disruption to distract you. Because usually when you want change, the disruption can cause distraction, but don't focus on the disruption. So I don't know if you understand that. But as related to what we're discussing, a lot of the times when you're bringing about positive change in the body, because you remember you're now starting to feed the body properly, the body is now going to start to experience new nutrition. There's going to be some disruption as a result of the positive change that you want to bring about. It's just like exercise. If you start back jogging, you can't jog how you used to jog when you was jogging in the beginning. There is change, so the lung capacity is going to have to get increased. If you start swimming, your lung capacity going to have to increase. Your muscles going to have to get stronger. You're going to have to experience some days where you have some pain. It's just like the gym. I hate when I stop the gym and you go back 2-3 months after. You feel like if you just started, you know. But thank God for muscle memory, you experience certain things. So in his particular case, I would say the cerebral, I would recommend the cerebral with lunch. I recommend the Nerve Restore with breakfast. And the omegas, I'll take one with lunch and one with lunch and one with breakfast. And they shouldn't have any problems there. What they could do not take it after the meal, take it during the meal. That's the next thing. A lot of some people could take things before a meal, some people during the meal, some people after the meal. Like me personally, I could take any time, it doesn't bother me. But I know some persons, if they take it before, they feel a little nauseous. So we normally tell them during the meal. So while you're eating, you would pause for a while, have it, and then continue the meal, or you do it after the meal. Okay? So let me give you those telephone numbers again. Clinic locations. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. That telephone number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. For David's number is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James' number is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. I saw someone ask on the live, when is St. James opening hours? St. James is open from 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, and on a Saturday it's from 10 to 4. Okay? Tobago's number is 226-4553. That's 226-4553. And that is located in the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Tobago. Tobago has been, when I tell you my experience in Tobago, and anyone from Tobago listening to this, because I love what I do, and I love people most of the time, you know, I didn't leave Tobago. I didn't. Tobago was a challenge for a number of reasons. No fault of your own, though, you know, the whole ferry service and the situation, especially in the earlies when I went some years ago. And, you know, I got in some serious issues, and I could just pick up myself and say, here, what's and that. But I couldn't do the people of Tobago that, because I love Tobago. I love Tobagonians. I find they're pretty interesting people in the sense that people always say they're very clannish, which is true to an extent, but I think they're very overprotective about each other, you know, which is a good thing. But they really, you know, once you're tried and proven by them, you're tried and proven. And I think that's one of the things that I was, you know, most pleased for. I remember Brother B, who I will be resuming discussions with when I start back my service in terms of Channel 5. Brother B is one of the best professional persons I've ever dealt with in the media. One of the best interviews I've ever gotten in my life was done by this gentleman. And I remember when I started going to Tobago, he interviewed me on Monday, then he interviewed me on Tuesday. So it was for the whole week I would have been invited. Then he interviewed me on Wednesday. And on the Wednesday morning, at the end of the hour interview, he told the listeners, because he's someone who carries a lot of weight and clout in Tobago. People take his word for a lot of things. He said, Tobago, we get a good doctor. He said, this young man is not here on games, because he asked me every possible hardest question that anybody could have asked someone in my profession, and I was able to answer him. And he said, I was amazed at that. You don't have a book in front of you. He said, but you understand what it is you're doing. And, you know, as I just saying all of that to say, Tobago, I haven't forgotten you. Our new office is still under construction. Very soon you'll get your office. And of course, it's only a bigger and better things for the people of Tobago as it relates to their health. So, you know, a pleasant good morning to you. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Latoya, who is always doing an excellent job. That's the young lady who works in our office in Tobago. And, you know, better is coming. I'll actually be in Tobago next week. So I look forward to that, you guys. And, you know, very soon, in the next month, 2 months, we have already gotten your equipment. We have gotten your blood machines. We have gotten all our equipment for the Tobago office. So very soon we'll be up and running again. Okay, so back to you, sir.
All right, so we just have a few minutes again, but I thought you was going to say you like Tobago people because they're straightforward, just like you know, Dr. Batson.
Yeah,
Tobago people,
that too.
Very straightforward, they don't play.
That too. You know something I like about them as well, and some people might take this badly. They are very, very, very well organized.
Yeah,
they're very clean to it. You go into Tobago. If you go into Tobago and you see paper on the ground, it's a Trinidadian throw it. Plain talk, bad manners. They're very clean. That highway, those people.
They'll actually say that, right?
Yeah.
They would say that too, That's a Trinidadian.
Yeah.
Let's try and get these. Let's try and get these calls here as much as we can. We just have a really few minutes again. Hello, good morning, welcome.
Yes, Brother Dion.
Yes, morning.
Good morning again, Dr. Batson. I forgot to tell tell you.
Uh-huh.
After the day before he started, since ever he started university, he was always on fish oil.
Right.
Right? The 7th is cod liver, should I call it him? I don't know. 7th is cod liver, fish oil, gelatin free.
Right. Nice.
Right, he was taken that.
Good.
He only put cover or something. And then he was taken to the selenium, East 398 away.
Nice.
Then he used to be taken like D3, Jameson's D3, and the B6 and the B12. So I don't know. I called back to ask if he was taking those things. He didn't set his body free from it, but he just continued the day after and started to take your product. So I don't know if that, with your knowledge, if that is what caused him to feel sick. I don't know, but I will know off the air.
All right, good, no problem. But well, as I say, one of the things that I would have to do, maybe what you could do, if it's on the WhatsApp for my office, which is 314-9975, WhatsApp me his number, and maybe I could get someone. I will call him. I'll make some time and just find out what exactly was the sick, because sick is a generic term. You know, what really is sick? Is it that he was getting headaches? Is it that he was feeling nauseous? Is it that he was feeling tired? And then maybe once I have a discussion with him, I will be able to figure out the situation. I already think, based on how I adjusted what he's taking, he would see an improvement. That situation, whatever the sickness is, should begin to dissipate. But of course, having a conversation with him would, of course, make it even better for me. All right, so do that for me. That WhatsApp number is 314-9975. 314-9975. Back to you, Ian.
Let's squeeze in these few messages. Hello, good morning, welcome. Good morning, Mr. Santa Cruz.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Mighty fine. Praise be to God.
Amen, amen. Your song strong, boy.
I am strong. I'm 97 years now.
Whoa, nice, man. Well done, well done.
Well done. Dr. Batson.
Yes, sir.
What is the symptom that a heart attack is imminent? What is the symptom that a heart attack is imminent? Thank you.
Okay. That's actually a very good question. I mean, the symptomology or what do I say? Not a preamble. That might be we could use that word. As regards to a heart attack, usually the thing is, if you have pain radiating on your left shoulder, the left side, and you know the pain. So the pain, you know, some people, they say, I have a pain, and then you just ask them, what kind of pain it is? And they say, well, it's not a bone pain, you know, it's a muscle pain or a nerve pain. So there's no difference with the type of pain you're experiencing. So this is not a bone pain or a muscle pain, but a pain where you're feeling like something stabbing you in your chest, especially on the left side. So usually, if you feel pain radiating from the tip of your fingers, here, all here, and especially if you're getting a stabbing situation in your chest, that could be a sign. If you have situations with breathing problems, as regards, so you're getting that same pain, but you're getting problems with breathing. So if it is you try to walk, you find you have to go slower, that kind of thing. That could also be a sign. My thing is, you must know your cardiovascular health. Men, all of us as big people listening to this program, if we have children, which I think we do, I would make sure and have it children friendly. ED, erectile dysfunction, is normally a sign of heart problems. And you see you're getting that. You need to be careful. It's telling you, hey, your heart is not as efficient as you would like it to be. Headaches, a lot of headaches, bad headaches, piercing headaches, where you feel it's like if something choking inside your brain. Especially when you get headaches on different parts of your body, bad pain in the back of your neck. And again, this is not a muscle pain or a joint pain. The pain feeling like, you know, like somebody like piercing your inside, especially in the head. Those are usually serious warning signs, especially when you get them in front and the pain is so severe that it affects your eyesight. Watch yourself. That's early signs of stroke, heart attack. So pay very close attention to that. So I think in general, those are some of the things. Usually, as they always tell you, the first sign of a heart attack is a heart attack. Most of the time, you know, but if you take care of your cardiovascular system, which is why I'm such a great advocate of L-arginine and L-arginine supplementation. Now, I'm very brand specific. People would know me. There are some brands you'll never find in any of my offices, simply because I'm a big person on quality, right? But there's a particular L-arginine product that we carry. Magnificent product, magnificent. Especially for elderly persons. One of the things we're working on very soon is to do a cardiovascular rejuvenation clinic. That's one of my babies I'm working on right now, actually. We have some really good things coming in the future for persons. Once God spare life and God continue to bless me and the management and staff at Batson and Associates, we have a lot more people to take care of, a lot more people to bless as it relates to the health, in this particular ministry that we have decided to take on. And people always ask me, Dr. Batson, how come you get involved in health? And I always tell them, when you're supposed to do something. Miles Monroe once said, he said the greatest thing that you could do in life is find out what your gift is and use that gift to bless others. And that is, I always tell persons that money was never the most at the forefront of my mind, because I knew that once I became good at what I was doing and I became the best or one of the best, money would come. And that's exactly what happened. And that's why I continue to bless people. Sometimes you come to me and, especially the elderly, and we have some new things coming up, especially for pensioners and that kind of thing, where you might come and you might not have the whole amount to pay. That's all right. Take half and, so, when you bless somebody, God bless you. So, that's just to say that, is a matter of, we doing what we need to do. So, take the advice, focus on your health. We have so many persons that could avoid that. You could avoid a stroke. Stroke patients, it really hurts me when I see people with stroke, because stroke takes a lot of work. If you get a stroke, strokes are very expensive to come from. They're very, very expensive. When you get a stroke, for you to come back on your feet properly, you have to spend some money. Anywhere in the vicinity of over 100,000 to maybe up to 500,000 to $1 million. So that is why, I always tell persons, if you think health expensive, try sickness. So it's better you get that L-arginine supplementation and start to use it. CoQ10, every single person, unless, am I thinking any restrictions here, boy? There's no restriction really for CoQ10. If it is you're on blood thinners, so if you're taking things like warfarin and Coumadin and those type of things, you need to be a bit careful. But every single person, especially if you have a cardiovascular problem, should get a bottle of coenzyme CoQ10. Why you don't have that and why you're not using that yet? Why? You have to have that in your arsenal in order to have proper cardiovascular health. I have had persons with ejection fractions of 25. The doctor tell them, hey, you ain't going to last, you're going to die. And we work with those persons, and in 3 months, we have people ejection fraction move from 25 to 65. Watch me. That is sheer madness in the medical world. Medical doctors would not be able to understand that because they don't understand what we understand. And that's quite all right. I don't need them to. And I've worked along with medical doctors, with the clients, fix the clients for them, and send them back. And I say, tell them, you go right back there, let it test you. And watch me, they look for heart problem all under the bed and they can't find it. They get better. And you know what they say? I don't know what it is you're doing, but continue doing it. We have done that for persons with their eyesight. You listen to me, I challenge anybody. Now, if you're clinically blind, I can't make no promises there. But you come to us with any problem with your eye. Come. Talking about detached retina and your glaucoma. Glaucoma sufferers is our next set of people. And I talk about glaucoma Thursday. Some are very hardened and do not listen. Little disgusting in the mix too. Do not take glaucoma for a joke. If you think high blood pressure bad, glaucoma 10 times worse than high blood pressure. Because glaucoma is high ocular pressure in your eyes. Listen to me, Trinidad and Tobago. That will blind you. Glaucoma is the stealer of eyesight. It is noted as to take the most amount of eyesight in person's adult life. So you don't play with no glaucoma and talk no nonsense to me. You're taking Zalatan, Kosap, Alpha-Gan. They'll give you the whole hospital eye drop. You would not get better. You know why? You're not dealing with the root cause of the problem. Why are you not drinking water? If you look at glaucoma sufferers, the majority of them are dehydrated people. Why are you not drinking water? Because you don't like water? You don't like yourself? That's like, why don't say you don't like oxygen and take a bag and put it over your face? Do that now and see what happens to you. You'll die. So you can't say you don't like water and you don't like our water. The taste, so you need to stop that foolishness. Why don't have a plant home and say you didn't get the plant no water? And see what happens then. You see how they're looking? You see when rain started to fall? What are they at? All your wakaman walk showing. Because when rain starts to fall, rain in particular, you see what goes on? That's life. So water in itself to the human body is just like, you see how the road looking? You see how the gardens looking? Beautiful, green. And look, rain just started to fall. So if that water is life-giving, you as a human being, you don't want to drink water? Nah, you're playing the fool, man. Dion, over to you.
Dr. Batson, someone asks here. Okay, so I'm going to take one final call because of time.
Yes, I know our time is, yeah.
To WhatsApp and deal with that. Hello, good morning, welcome.
Yeah, good morning.
Hi, good morning, sir.
I'm calling about somebody have a big grandchild and
Could you lower your radio for us, please?
Look, what is it?
Okay, could you just restart saying what you were saying before?
Well, somebody have a large thyroid gland, right?
Right.
About 20 years now, right?
20 years.
Whoa.
Right. They do construction work, right? And the contract is swollen more bigger, and it's usually green and it's only short, but it's something like that.
Okay, good. So the person has a goitre, so what you want to know what it is they could do for it? That's the question?
Yeah.
Okay, good, sir. All right, no problem, sir. Well, you can listen off here. All right?
All right, thanks very much.
You're welcome, sir. Okay, good, yeah. So what is making reference to there is something known as a thyroid goitre, which is the thyroid gland is usually very large. And usually people who have goitre, they have serious problems, not only with iodine, but they have serious thyroid problems. A lot of times they have problems with selenium deficiency as well. They also have problems with a lot of buildup. Again, the analogies that I was using in the beginning as regards to circulation. Remember, it is important to have circulation throughout the body. People who have alopecia, you know, that was big in the news some time ago, where the follicles in the hair begin to die. That's because you don't have proper blood circulation in the brain. Do you know that scalp massages can cause your hair to grow longer and thicker? Just by massaging the scalp? Because what does massaging do? Improve blood circulation, especially to the extremities, to the surface. So it's very important that circulation. So people who have thyroid goitre and those type of things, a lot of times the circulation is bad. So one of the easiest things I tell persons to do is get castor oil, the black Jamaican castor oil. You heat it a bit, just a little bit, and you allow it to cool off, and then you rub the goitre or even the thyroid nodules. There are a lot of people who have problems because their thyroid gland, because of its location too, it's sometimes a bit troublesome. And the thing with women usually have a lot of, because of their hormonal imbalances in their body, their thyroid usually is very problematic with a lot of things. So if you know you have thyroid nodules or you have thyroid problems, even hypothyroidism, which is low thyroid function, or hyperthyroidism, which is high thyroid function, you find that castor oil is something that could actually help. With the goitre situation, I mean, with goitres, they're very difficult to deal with, especially the length of time that you have them. I have helped persons with goitre that have come down significantly, in some cases that came down all the way, and that was with a lot of work, but they're usually very little difficult to deal with. But as I said, with the castor oil and different cleansing protocols, I believe that they can see some improvement where that is concerned. Okay, so that's something that you need to pay close attention to. So very quickly again, because I know, Dion, our time is of the essence, correct?
Yes.
Yes, definitely. So those numbers for Shogunas. The Shogunas number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. For Debe is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And Tobago is 226-4553. I'll be in Tobago this week, God's willing. And that number again is 226-4553. And as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. I'll continue a few minutes on our live. I do apologize to the listeners of 99.5 for my tardy start this morning. I do apologize. I was really sleeping a little more than I would have liked to, but you know, rest is always necessary. Dion, it is always a pleasure being in your company, sir. To the listeners of Sky 99.5, God continue to bless you and your family. Be safe. Today's Sunday, so make sure and have a little more salad and macaroni pie, right? Take care of yourself.
And before you just hop off, Dr. Batson,
yes, sir.
Someone is just saying that they've been trying to get in contact with your daily office for some time now.
Okay.
And they've been trying to make an appointment and they just can't get through at all.
And they're calling the 223-7515 number.
What is that number?
David's number is 223-7515 or 341-4813. I'll actually be working in David's office on. Now, I don't like to tell people which part is and the time at this day.
You know, 341-4843?
Correct. So it's 223-7515 or 341-4813. But yeah, but next week, Wednesday, I am working in David's office because I made some adjustment to my schedule together with some of the consultants that work with me, Ms. Ramdan and myself and whatnot. So Wednesday, please God, I will be in David's office. I should be there from all around 10, 11 o'clock. So, you know, those persons, you could actually call David this week if you want to have an appointment with me, and I will be able to see you in David this Wednesday. But keep in mind that Dr. Batson is not the only consultant that works at Batson Associates, right?
Okay, I guess he's saying that they're calling that particular number.
That particular one. That's why I give them the other one, because sometimes I don't know if the numbers are busy, and for some reason we get problems in that south office too, you know, with phones and service and that type of thing.
Okay. All right, no problem, Dr. Batson. As you've been listening to Dr. Batson of Batson and Associates right here on Sky 99.5 FM, we do apologize for those of you.
Yes, my listeners on social media. So again, guys, we have some questions here. So let me see if I can just run through some stuff for you guys quickly and make my. So Ms. Jessica Clark is saying, Doc, please remember to speak about hearing loss, deafness. Okay. So let's talk a bit about hearing loss. Now, a lot of times people who experience hearing loss have to do with just your ears. Well, in some cases, your ears might have wax in it. So it might just be a matter of cleaning your ears. But in some instances, it has a lot again to do with the circulation in the brain. So one of the things that I was telling persons as it relates to cerebral circulation is the optimizer. One of the things I'm working on right now is an airdrop. Yeah, believe it or not, I'm working on an airdrop because I'm dealing with people with tinnitus and those type of things, and I think I can help in that area. So that's one of the things we're working on. That is something we should have in a little bit too. So as it relates to that, a lot of the times too, the air canal itself could have some issues because we know what helps with hearing, those hair fibers that are there. And there's a particular mechanism involved with those hair fibers and hearing and whatnot. So sometimes what they found is that as we age, those hairs tend to decrease, they break off, they fall off. And that in itself could complicate the hearing process. But of course, there's supplementation, or from the clinical supplementation aspect, where we could actually now include some of those things in your diet to actually better that situation. All right. I'll do some more research, and maybe next week again I'll expand on that deafness situation, Miss Clark. Okay. We do have in stock. We have iOptics formula. We have all our teas in stock right now. Liver, kidney, circulation, puer, lung, a lot of teas. We also have our our inflammation formula is in. We have Nerve Restore is back as well. Very popular product. That product does so well. And keep in mind our Father's June. So you could actually win some very interesting prizes. Yes?
Promotion ending at the end of
June. Right. So that promotion is ending at the end of June. So it's good to get in early, like us, share us, put a comment and tag us in the comment.
And it's out on the page already. They want to repost it.
Yeah, it's out on the page, so you could have it there. You could check it out. Remember, on social media, we are Batson and Associates Limited. On Facebook, on Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. On YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. Okay. Repeat the number for St. James. St. James's number is 220-8113. That number for St. James is 220-8113. Debe's number is 223-7515. Debe again is 223-7515. Keep in mind, if you want a consultation with me, if it is you are waiting, and I am in Debe, God's willing, this Wednesday. For Shagona's number is 222, that's 222-8261, that's 222-8261. And Tobago, which is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago, God's willing, I should be in Tobago Monday and Tuesday. That number is 226-4553. Again, 226-4553. You have been listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson & Associates, supporting your health naturally. And as we always say at Batson & Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. God bless you guys. Be safe and do enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Just 1 second. Someone is saying, what about the MSM drops? What's that, Miss Raymond? If we have in stock, we'll be getting MSM drops by next week after next. So in about 2 weeks for the latest, we should have that, as well as the Sincera, that's the eye drops for cataract. Currently, we only have iOptics formula in stock. Okay? Someone is saying, need a consultant with you in St. James. It was Anne-Marie saying that, yeah, I normally have Mr. Green, Paul Green, and Mr. Bastamante is usually there on a Thursday and Friday. But we will actually be getting some new consultants in the next coming months. So look forward to that. Okay, guys? So God continue to bless you guys. And again, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Take care. Bye-bye.